Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to your Friday Fuel with me, Margot Freitag, everything plant-based and health and wellness related, always with plant-based nutrition as the guiding force. I am here with you at 12 noon every Friday to answer your questions about health and wellness, fitness, what else? Injury, recovery, any soft tissue and joint injuries you might have or dysfunction you might be suffering from, chronic pain, also, of course, your fitness and, of course, your nutrition. And so today I want to talk to you about something that really is an important issue with all women and all men who love women. So really all of us, and that is breast cancer. So breast cancer, of course, is the leading cause still today of cancer deaths in women. So it's especially important to any of us who have suffered from breast cancer ourselves or who have had somebody we love suffer from breast cancer. And I can tell you, my mom was one of those people. And I can tell you that when it was back when I was pregnant with my daughter, and my mom was on hormone replacement therapy. And it was just at that time where we were starting to understand that hormone replacement therapy might be linked to breast cancer. And I read an article on it and brought it to my mother, and she brought it to her doctor. And her doctor said, "No problem, don't worry about it. There's nothing proving this right now, and you don't have anything to worry about. So just don't worry about it. Keep taking your hormone replacement therapy." And within 6 months, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. She had a breast removed. And so that's always been a thorn in my side and devastating for my mother and our family. And, we lose so much faith in our medical professionals when these things happen. And it's because they just are not given the right information. They're fed by the pharmaceutical industry. So, and that leads me to the pharmaceutical industry. Their big mantra is about breast cancer: early detection is our best prevention. And what a crock. I mean, this really bothers me. This is not the best prevention. The best prevention is understanding what causes breast cancer and avoiding the cause, right? So I can't stand these pink ribbon events, that they're just fundraisers. It's a big money grab. We know what causes breast cancer, and I'm going to be talking to you about that in just a moment. Hey, hi, Christine. I'm so happy you're here joining me today. Good to see you. So yeah, we all hate it when people we love are at risk and at the mercy of an industry that really has no interest in teaching true prevention. Really frustrating and disheartening. So let me just tell you this, and you may already know a lot of this already, but I want to share, and that is 80% of all breast cancer is estrogen dependent. And breast cancer tumors are so estrogen dependent, and they're so smart that they actually start to produce their own estrogen. And so what does the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry do? Well, they give us something called aromatase inhibitors. And aromatase is an enzyme that breast cancer cells use to produce their own estrogen. So we take these, or we are given, people who have breast cancer are given aromatase inhibitors to prevent breast cell tumors or breast cancer cells from producing their own estrogen. But we do need aromatase for other things, and one of the things we need it for is our bone health. So what do? Well, we struggle with our bone health if we're taking aromatase inhibitors. And then our doctors give us something called biophosphonates so that we can protect our bones, so they tell us. However, biophosphonates, what they do is they prevent only a portion of our bone from breaking down. And it's a whole little science lesson, but basically we have different kinds of bone cells depending on their stage of maturity and development. And the oldest bone cells that we have are called osteoclasts. And these are the ones that haven't died yet, but they're on their way out. And they're the oldest and most brittle of our bone cells. And these are the ones that are prevented from breaking down when we take biophosphonates. So what happens? We end up with bigger bones, all right, but we end up with bigger bones that are brittle and dry and very, very fragile. So that's why you hear about things like people taking biophosphonates and their femur breaks or their jaw, rots. So biophosphonates, I mean, they just don't do what they really say they're going to do. So that's biophosphonates. So, no one in the medical field is going to tell you this, but you can take 5 white button mushrooms a day. I mean, saute them up in a stir fry, and that gives you the same aromatase inhibitor power than as much as an aromatase inhibitor drug would give you. 5 white button mushrooms a day will protect you against breast cancer cells producing their own estrogen. Now, that to me is profound, and it's something that I think our medical industry should be telling us. Why aren't they telling us that? All right, next thing, what do we need to know? Well, you need to know the causes, right? So the causes there are multiple. They're all related to animals, of course. The first thing I want to share with you is this thing about cow milk. So people are so worried about soy milk. I find that really interesting. But cow milk, cows today, they are, we've figured out how to keep milking cows throughout their entire pregnancies. And so what we do is we pool all this milk from some non-pregnant cows and some very pregnant cows. Well, it turns out that at the end stage of pregnancy, the estrogen levels in cow milk are 33 times the levels that they are in non-pregnant cow milk. So we have an extraordinary amount of estrogen in our cow milk. And of course, as we now know, breast cancer cells depend on estrogen. And the other thing about cow milk is that it's loaded with cholesterol. It turns out that it looks like not just breast cancer, but other cancerous tumors also potentially can be feeding on cholesterol. And cholesterol is also used in helping cancer metastasize. So lots of cholesterol in cow milk, guys. Last but not least, we have IGF-1, which is insulin-like growth factor. And insulin-like, oh, I'm so happy it's helping, Christine. I know you know this stuff. IGF-1 is insulin-like growth factor. And this is really important when you're growing. So what it does is so the protein in cow milk, which is a potent carcinogen, which is casein. This casein actually stimulates the circulating levels of IGF-1. And IGF-1 is a growth hormone, and it's really important. It helps animals grow while they're drinking milk. It's really important. So we take it and we grow rapidly. It helps to turn a little tiny calf into a 1,000-pound animal in, a year's time. But it turns out that cancerous tumors have IGF-1 receptors covering their surface. And of course, this helps to stimulate growth in cancerous tumors. And again, Dr. Colin Campbell found that he used casein in his studies, casein, the main protein in cow milk. He was able to turn cancer on and off just by adjusting the level of casein in the diet. So those are lots of reasons right there why we should be steering clear of cow milk and all dairy products. We also know that eggs, I think that there's like half an egg a day is associated with 5 times cancer. I have that note right here. Hang on, I'm going to find it. Not 5 times, 3 times. So eating half an egg a day has been associated with nearly 3 times the odds of getting breast cancer. There you go. Next is the FIPS, the heterocyclic amines. And these are the cooked meat carcinogens. So when we cook meat, we have to cook meat, right? Because we have to cook meat just to survive eating it, because we're really not meant to eat meat. But we cook our meat so we don't die. And something is produced called FIPS, and these are cooked meat carcinogens. And it turns out that these cooked meat carcinogens are estrogenic, meaning they behave exactly like estrogen. And so we find that these estrogenic compounds, these FIPS, are used by cancerous tumors in the breast as estrogen. So there you go. cooked meat carcinogens, cow milk, cholesterol, and IGF-1. So those are really, really valid reasons for avoiding animal foods, and you know, when we're considering protecting ourselves against breast cancer. So what should we be eating? Well, berries, of course, lots of cruciferous veggies, lots of dark leafy greens, legumes. We know that the phytates in legumes are cancer protective. You know, all of the animal foods should be avoided, and all of the plant foods should be brought on board. The only thing we really need to worry about as far as plant foods go is the high cooking of starches at very high temperatures cause the production of acrylamide, and acrylamide in foods like potato chips and French fries looks like they can cause, you know, or not cause cancer, but, you know, help with cancer proliferation. So those are some really important things for you to consider. I hope this is helpful. I think I had my finger over the microphone for some of it. I hope it didn't impair our video too much. I hope you're able to hear me. Any questions out there, please be sure to drop me a line. And you can always email me. I've got a dry throat. I'm going to have some water. Stay in touch. Every Friday I'm here at 12 o'clock. I hope you'll tune in, and I hope it's been helpful. We'll see you soon. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear you heard me loud and clear. That's good news. Thank you. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.